I've been in the nonprofit sector for 30 years. One of the things that I see now are strong, viable nonprofit organizations specifically serving the LGBTQ community. And I think a lot of that is because Pride came in, was born, was created, raised money, and then distributed those funds to these groups that are now, active and protecting us today, providing services, providing care, providing dollars for education and advancement of equitable outcomes for our community. And I think that's because Pride was there for all of us.
Pride Foundation does work in 5 states: Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. One of the reasons I became involved was because of that regional aspect. I grew up in a small town in Alaska, and I now live in Seattle. And the issues that I grew up with and experienced before moving to Seattle often still exist. I think the work that Pride Foundation is important because it helps fund organizations in rural areas outside of major metropolitan areas where we may be one of the only LGBTQ+ organizations offering hope and resources.
The impact that Pride Foundation funding has in more rural and isolated communities it's almost indescribable. What the type of funding that Pride Foundation is able to provide does is it allows for stability and planning and growth, all those things that we know are essential if we want some of our really rural organizations to be able to be here well into the future and to be effective in their work.
In the past year, we granted out more than $1.5 million. In many cases, those dollars are the only grants that they receive, and they may also be the only LGBTQ+ organization in that part of their state. This year, Pride Foundation funded 108 scholars. That support is instrumental to their ability to continue their education and become leaders in the future.
Life in Idaho has always been a struggle for queer youth, but with Pride Foundation, they can have the support that they need to grow, to thrive, to become their true selves, and to make a difference in their communities as they grow up. All the scholarship funds at Pride Foundation exists to provide funding to students who have a lot of barriers to their education, whether it be immigration status or poverty or homelessness. It's important to have representation everywhere. It is wonderful when I can be with people who are intersectional throughout the community.
There are so many young people across the state of Alaska that need to hear that they matter, that need to know that they are loved, and they need the connection that the Pride Foundation family provides. It's incredible the work that Pride Foundation offers and the connection that they are able to create. And all I need to do are think about the moments that I have had in the Pride Foundation family, my own journey in how I identify and how I love, and realize that that has been influenced and infused and improved and elevated because of the relationships I have with Pride Foundation and its networks. And I am thankful that they exist and that they are out there doing that work and will be doing that work in perpetuity due to the gifts that we give them today.
Now is the time
For advocacy, to mobilize,
To move resources
To communities that need it the most,
Invest in Pride Foundation.
so we can support organizations and student leaders.
in Oregon.
in Idaho,
In Montana,
In Alaska.
in Washington.
and protect the joy,
The rights
and the precious lives
Of LGBTQ+ people and their families.